Uh, it was hard. It was very hard to come out and look at my husband and tell him what he said. So, it was very hard. Especially to go home and tell your mom. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I called her immediately after I got out of the bad news doctor's office and told her what he had told me, and she said that we'd get a second opinion. And we did. And she picked a very fine doctor for me.
All right, how are we feeling, okay?
Good.
Good. So none of those dizzy spells, lightheadedness, and all
I
that?
had one dizzy spell. Oh, not really. I mean, it was a dizzy spell.
You go to the pain people, okay? And you're going to be fine, okay? Now, are we taking aspirin? Good. Plavix, good. So the brain has 4 blood vessels that supply the brain, okay? It has 2 carotid arteries, which are in the front, and it has 2 vertebral arteries, which are more in the back. When I say front and back, that is of the neck. The carotids are the main one. The problem that usually happens with carotid arteries is you get plaque inside the artery, what we call the bulb, right about here in the neck. And that bulb, there is plaque that accumulates, and that plaque gets loose and goes up into the brain and causes a stroke or a mini stroke. Ms. Harvey actually didn't quite have that. What she had was she had narrowing in all 4 of her arteries, okay? And so what she was actually having was just low blood flow to the brain, kind of like low blood flow to your heart. Like if you exercise, if you have coronary artery disease, problems with your heart vessels, if you exercise and ask for blood to your heart and there's blockages, you don't get enough blood and you have angina or chest pain. Well, she was having kind of that in her brain because there wasn't enough blood flow going to her brain. So when she was getting lightheaded and she'd stand up, she'd get dizzy. So there was just what we call global ischemia, or global low blood flow to her brain. So we had to go in and get more blood flow to her brain. Now, she was unfortunately told by some other physicians in other parts of the state that there was nothing that could be done. But we were able to look at her angiogram very, very carefully and recognize that there, in fact, were possibilities for treatment. So one of the arteries, we ended up putting a stent in, okay? So we brought her in the hospital. We went in her arm vessel, and we went up put a stent in. The other 3 blood vessels, we had to reroute them. We had to do bypasses. And for that, we had to do a sternotomy. We had to open her chest, actually, her breastbone, so to speak. And then we had to bypass from the aorta to all these other blood vessels, close her up. And she's been a champ. She's done really well. I'm sure she told you she's feeling much, much better. So we're so excited and happy for her that we're able to help her.
All in all, I'm happy to be here and alive. I've got, what, 7 great-grandkids? No, 7 grandkids. And they're all very happy that I'm still with them.